Okay, we have the pulley out of the way. And real quick while we're here, you can see this. I'm showing you how it moved. You can see all that play there. Not supposed to do that. Bearings are gone. It's actually, I don't know if you can hear this. You can hear how the bearings are ruined. Should be nice and smooth. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to remove this pipe here. It's coolant pipe. We're going to take this hose off, this hose, and we're going to remove a couple connectors for switches. This harness is in the way, so we're just going to unplug this down here in the coolant sensor. So that stuff's out of the way and we don't damage it. So we need a small screwdriver here to open up this retainer for the harness. Real simple. That gets that loose. Let's reach down here and undo the connector. And then unplug that. And where's this one's in the back. Squeeze this. Squeeze it, it comes right off. That's your coolant temp sensor, or coolant temp sensor, right?
Yep.
On this one? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have that out of the way. Now we're going to take our channel locks. And we're going to remove these two hoses here. And they're just like before, just squeeze. Squeeze it all the way and slide it up onto the hose. And they get you past the pipe itself. This one runs pretty high. Well, while we're here, we'll just take this one loose too. Sometimes they stick to the hose, so you just got to wiggle them, and they'll come up out of the way. Now, what we're hoping for is we're hoping that we can grab these hoses if they're not stuck to the pipes. And we can twist them and get them loose, which doesn't look like this is going to happen on these. So we have one of these, which is technically called a cotter pin tool, but you can see the angle of it. Some are a little sharper angle. We're going to use this to get between the hose and the pipe. Be careful not to stab the hose. You can get this in between there and kind of just wiggle it around. It'll help break it loose where it's stuck. They stick because of heat, and of course it's rubber, so you can essentially say they kind of just melt a little bit. Nothing to worry about. See, that came right off real easy. We'll just stuff this hose over here out of the way. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. Once you get underneath it, just gently wiggle it, slide around, and that should loosen it up from there. We're going to see if we can pull this loose. We have a tight squeeze here, so if it doesn't come off like that, we can always cut this zip tie and get a good grip on the hose and turn it. And we'll just have to put a zip tie back there to hold the hose in place, which is what I think we're going to have to do. How's it?
No.
Oh, we're still going? Okay. Well, we've got ourselves a pair of wire cutters. All their names, they might be called as dikes or side cutters. Just all the different terms for the same tool. Cut this off. Now we can grab this hose here. There we go. It's loose, but we just didn't have room to get it up because of the bracket.
Somebody drew a happy face on the back.
There we go. And underneath there is our thermostat. Maybe you can John can get a good shot of that.
And here you see a little happy face on the hose. Don't know why. Okay, there's the thermostat. See it down in there?
That's that.
So if you had to do a thermostat, you would go to that extent just by pulling the upper hose And doing a thermostat, you'll probably still have to pull a fan and the shroud off.
Okay. It's very important when you take a hose completely off the vehicle that you know which the direction that it went on. Some hoses have indication on them of where they go, say the engine or the radiator. This one doesn't, but it's formed, so in this case it's pretty easy to see that it goes this way. If you try to put it on this way, it's not really going to fit because the other stuff's in the way. You could make it fit, but your other components won't work. So be real careful of paying attention on how you take them off. Now to get this pipe loose here, that goes to the bottom of the radiator, we have, feels like two 10mm bolts. I think they're 10s. Where did I put it? Right there. And we're going to take these loose. Again, be careful when you're working around the radiator that you don't hit it. Now this lower hose here may still have coolant in it because it's up a little higher. It's hard to say, but you got to be careful. You don't want to make a mess. These are going to be pretty tight. And there's one down here on the bottom. I don't know if you can get a shot of it here with my finger. That's the other one we're going to take off.
Just remember, we're not experienced photographers, but we're doing the best we can to give you the best view. Looks like you're needing a new glove there.
Yeah, we'll get it once we have to take the next break. Or we have something we can't get off, which will probably be after we take this hose off. And we'll get ready to take the water pump loose, because I think that'll be next. Remind you, this is our first time doing a water pump on this vehicle too. So again, like a lot of our videos, you will see that it will be our first time, and we'll let you know that. So you're kind of learning the same way we do, or at the same time. But with our experience, we have a pretty good idea of how things come apart, but we don't know everything, so we don't have a problem looking stuff up, asking questions to other mechanics or technicians, because that's what it's about. No one can know everything. It's a constant learning process for everyone, no matter how long you've been doing this. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to either email us at Andy@carrepairsmadeeasy.com or John@carrepairsmadeeasy.com, or post something on our Facebook page. And when we get our forums up, you can post there. We'll respond to you as soon as we can, and we'll give you the best and most current information or answer that we can.